nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. Cause I'm having too much fun tryna be myself. No, I'm not the type of chick that like to follow trends. I got a small circle, no, don't need a lot of friends. You know I gotta get this money cause I like to spend. I see you haters watching, so I just give you a grin.
How you guys doing? It's your girl, I'm Dom. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is? What time is it? It's time for that Real Housewives of Atlanta review, season 15, episode 15. So first of all, this is, you know, the last episode before the season finale next week or whatever. And I just feel like, okay. It was given a little bit. So we had at the beginning of the episode, you know how they always do, they be kind of going in between everybody's house. I want to cut through and do the scenes. Now, I don't care if I'm doing them in any particular order. You already know how I do my reviews. You already know what time it is, okay? Before we get into anything, if this is your first time here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, then hit the like, and then also hit the notification bell. Share if you care. And if you've returned, if you're a returner, thank you for returning. Hello again. Haven't seen you here in a long time. I'm silly as hell. All right, so we got a couple of scenes. You know that Drew and Candy are working on that movie. You also know that Sanya had went to the hospital. She was trying to see what was going on to make sure that the pregnancy test that she had wasn't a lie, that she was really pregnant or whatever. So that was the reason why she went to the doctor, you know, to kind of see how far along she was and everything like that. So I think that part is cool, and, you know, congrats to her. Now, moving on from that, you know, Drew and Ralph, they're not really seeing eye to eye right at this particular point. So they having an event. Well, no, Sheree decides they have an event. This particular episode is supposed to be like a see and sip. They supposed to be coming to see the baby and, you know, sip, I guess, or whatever, some tea or whatever, child. Like, I don't know what it really was, what the thing was. It was just an excuse for Sheree to throw a party for herself, okay? But in the midst of some conversations that were going on, Mayetta is talking to Drew and Candy because they were looking at a scene from the movie, and to save money and for budget purposes, they're filming a lot of the scenes at her home and Candy's house, which I don't see a problem with that. But of course, you know, the girls gonna throw their shade, but I don't see a problem with that. If you can budget and you can save money, why not? I feel like people think just because you have money, you're supposed to waste it and you're supposed to just spend it on whatever just because you got it. Like, I don't really believe in that. So I could respect Candy because she is the most well off on the show financially. You know, that doesn't mean that she wastes money. And I like that, you know, because that's how you keep money. It's not wasting it and spending it on a bunch of bullshit for no fucking reason. You know what I mean? Alright, so I felt like Mayetta was being a little messy in that particular situation because I felt like you recording, you trying to prove, like, you don't really have a dog in this fight. Are you trying to prove to Drew that Courtney is no good? I mean, they're not really related anyway. Whatever relationship they did have was just through Ralph, who you're married to, so there's no blood relationship or whatever. So I'm not really understanding that. I had a real big problem with Drew. Alright, so Drew is in this trailer type looking like situation because they supposed to be filming a movie in 10 days. It's crazy. They filming the whole movie in 10 days, so you know they not getting no sleep. They got to do takeovers. They got to do this. This scene is perfect, not perfect. It's a lot. But Candy and Todd were both giving Drew her props. They said she's a really good actress. Todd was kind of there telling them exactly what she wanted to see, what he wanted to see in certain scenes and things like that. And Candy did inform Drew that it was going to be an intimacy coach there. It's always hard to say that word, intimacy coach there. But the comments that Drew was making was on the lines of, like, you know, anything after this, she's like, I'm tired of doing stuff like this. Anything if it's not Lifetime or above, I'm not doing it. Let me stop you there, Drew. Whoop, stop the tape, rewind. You something, Drew, we know you from the game. You did the TLC movie, and I think you just did some movie called Sorority Sisters or Sorority Girls, something like that. Now, you going to stop sitting here acting like you Angela Bassett, okay? Now, they said you could act, but bitch, you is definitely a B movie type of girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? And on the actor list, as far as who's checking for you, you're not there. You know what I mean? So I feel like you need to be appreciative that Candy is giving you something to show more visibility to yourself, to give you another opportunity to put your talents out there and show, your range on something you can do with a female, or anything. I just felt like Candy didn't have to ask you. They could have got somebody else, you know what I'm saying, that might have been a better fit. And they chose you, and you trying to downplay it like it's a low budget movie. But I bet you accepted that low budget check or whatever the case may be. I just don't know. I ain't like that. So Ralph comes in there, okay, and I feel like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? He already was talking, throwing shade at the guy. I was like, can you get up? And she was like, damn, Ralph, like, because he was talking about the guy being overweight, which was kind of funny, but it was like not warranted. It's like, damn, like, why you throwing shots at this man? He seemed like he don't like nobody in Drew's face, even if they not even somebody that she's attracted to. I don't know. He just was acting real weird. So while they was talking, she was just telling him about the movie and all the stuff that she got to do. And, she's like, I really feel connected to this character. She's like me. She's a wife. She's submissive. And she was like, and then Ralph finished her sentence, was like, a lesbian. And I thought that was funny. He seemed like overly excited. He really seemed like he just can't wait to see her like doing something with a girl child. Typical man behavior. That's a clown. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it don't feel like he really is supportive of her. And when he's talking in the confessional, he said something that really struck a chord with me. He gonna say, yeah, when Drew's out, acting or doing, he's like, I respect her thespianism, but I feel like, things are chaotic at the house and I gotta pick up the slack. That's your job, Ralph. I feel like I'm tired of saying this. I said this last week. That's your job. It's not picking up the slack. It's not slack. Her working is not slack, okay? Like, I don't understand. That's your job, to take care of your own kids. Why are you making it seem like, oh, you can't take care of your kids? He acting like he got 1950s mindset. Like, what's wrong with you? Is you crazy? So Ralph is already annoying. I hope she truly does divorce him, because he clearly does not like her. He doesn't seem like he even likes her as a friend. Fuck a wife. He don't even seem like he like her as a friend. So I'm not really understanding, like, their whole dynamic. It's just giving very, very weird. At the beginning of the episode, Cynthia made an appearance. Her and Kenya were talking. And, Cynthia was in the confessional like, damn, like, I done been married and divorced, child, and you still going through the divorce with Mark, child. Like, how long do it take, honey? Which had me cracking up, because it's like, damn, we do feel like that. Like, girl, get it over with. This is dragged out. Like, just give the man what he wants, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just so y'all could get divorced, just so y'all could get this done. Like, because I'm tired of hearing about it. If I hear Mark's name one more time, Marcus, like, I don't even want to hear it. And to think that you was actually playing around with the idea of still, I understand that they're your eggs and you might not want a child that's not yours. But I feel like, come on. Like, look at what's going on and what he already putting you through. Do you really want to sit there and have another child with this man? That to me don't make no sense. But again, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge, okay? I'm really, really not. So, let's get to the main event, because the main event of the actual episode, they did have us going back and forth a couple of scenes with Drew and Candy, you know what I'm saying? And it was in regards to, I'm sorry, I thought something was on me. I am outside, these bugs crazy. It was in regards to the movie. Mayetta was letting Drew know that basically Courtney was talking about her, and Drew was just saying, like, I gotta say something to her. I feel like I have a problem with that, and, we need to get this handled. We need to get this discussed. Okay. We move on from that. Sheree is getting herself, they have a scene with Sheree and Cairo and his baby mom, and she's talking about, making a nursery there at her house and some of the stuff she want to do. Maybe just going back and forth with some ideas. Now, Marlo had an event this episode for her, Foster Care Fridays thing, and she was giving out some awards there. It was a nice event. Of course, Joaz Sanya was there. Sanya gets on my entire nerves. Like, she seemed like she got real much to talk. She got all this smoke for Kenya. You don't even have no real reason to dislike Kenya. So why all the smoke in the after show? Like, why all the smoke? And then she had made a comment in the after show about Kenya's friend, something she didn't have on nude that really irked the shit out of me or bugged the shit out of me. It's like, first of all, who are you, Sanya? Like, you seem like you getting real tough because you know can't nobody put their hands on you because you're pregnant. I don't know. I'm not feeling it, but you actually need a little slapping or two or maybe even three, bitch, because bitches is tired of your ass. So when they have the whole sit there, the event, finally everybody got to wear nude. The family colors is pink. You know what I'm saying? Of course, she invited Bob. That's his first grandchild, and it seems like it's starting off pretty good. The ladies are looking nice. I'm not gonna lie, Candy baby, I love you. You know, if you ever are to know me, you know I love you. But I was not feeling your outfit at that event. I just didn't like what you had on. That's it. I didn't like it. Cynthia was giving. Kenya's always giving. Sheree looked gorgeous. Nice hot pink dress. She did all of that. But I felt like you doing all of this for a baby that's not gonna remember that. When people have events like really large for kids that are at an age where they're not even going to remember it, that event is not for the child. The event is for the adults. The event is for people to show them like, oh, I'm doing this. I really feel like it's a brag, if you will. It's a floss, you know, like, oh, I could do all of this for my child, and I could. That's you the one that's wasting money. That's on you. So if you want to do that, good job. Okay, waste that money, girl. Because this event was stupid. You always need an excuse to throw yourself a party. If people liked you that much, maybe somebody would throw you a party. Because I can remember years ago in the beginning season, you threw yourself a birthday party. Then like, or a party. I think it was a divorce party or something. Like, you just always throwing yourself a party. Sheree to actually have nothing going on, she thinks a lot of herself. And I'm not saying you should not think highly of yourself because you don't have stuff going on, but I just feel like, damn, with how highly you think of yourself, you would think that you do have stuff going on, that you do, like, you don't promote She by Sheree at all on the show. I don't understand it. And then when they cut back to a scene of her, they was asking her, like, if she's making a profit. I don't know, like, She by Sheree, what are we doing? Your prices is overpriced, number one. Your stuff is overpriced. I feel like I'm not understanding the reasons of why you're not promoting it, but you always in Versace and Gucci and Fendi and everything but She by Sheree. You don't even support your own brand. You're not even supporting your own brand, but you want everybody else to support it. Go sit down. You know nothing about business. You don't know what you're doing. You have no idea about nothing that you got going on, child. Like, you is a hot ass mess. All right, so we move on from that situation with the She by Sheree, because I just went off on a tangent, but I get so mad with Sheree because it's just like, you spend money on unnecessary things to try to flaunt like you have so much money, but then when it comes down to actually paying workers or actually putting it into something that is supposed to help bring you more revenue, you being cheap. Like, I don't get it. Alright, so at the party, there were a few things going on. Things was getting real crazy. Things was getting real. So Drew was supposed to come. She was the last to, I think, show up. And I think at the time of her showing up, she saw, y'all remember Anthony, he had dreads. He was the one that was real messy from last season, child. Was being all extra with Candy. And Candy didn't like him. He rubbed her the wrong way. And he was Drew's assistant. He also used to work for Sheree. I guess him and Sheree squashed their beef. And then Sheree on the after show going to say, yeah, Anthony apologized. He said he didn't say some of the stuff Drew said. But they got the video of him saying that they got the video of him saying that Sheree don't pay. So what is he apologizing that he didn't say? I'm trying to understand Sheree. No. And then in the after show, they was like, Candy felt like, you know, Sheree should have gave Drew a heads up that he was going to be there because they have beef, right? And Sheree in the after show was just saying, like, I'm planning a party for Mecca. Do you really think that I'm thinking about you? It's like, it's not about that. But it's like, you knew who was all coming. It's not about thinking about me. It's just giving me a heads up. We trying to build a friendship, and you're doing things that are not friendly. So that's going to make me look at you a type of way. Like, I'm looking at you sideways because why are you inviting this man? So, of course, Drew's extra dramatic with the story when she's selling candy. And Mayetta, she called her, was like, yeah, that man, a man that's in there, he assaulted me. You tell there's a man in there that assaulted me. Why is you saying there's a man like you don't know his name and like Candy don't know who the fuck he is? That part was weird. So she was like, I'm outside. So Candy and Mayetta come out there to come and talk to her. And they basically just was like, she told them the story that he threw a shoe at her. They was getting into it at the place. So when they get back inside, of course it gets back that Drew don't want to come inside and tell Sheree or whatever. There come this messy ass nigga just waiting on some camera time, child. Like, no, I threw my shoes at her because she threw her cheap ass bag at me. You could have left the cheap ass part off. You so extra, Anthony, and that's like, people like you just so desperate for the spotlight. You're messy. Like, I don't even know who would want to be around somebody like who he is. Like, no, it's just not given. He looked very out of place there, to me. That's just my opinion. He wasn't dressed up. He looked like, I don't know, like he was not going there. I'll say that. He didn't look like he was coming to an event of that caliber with what he had on. So that was confusing to me. The rules was for everybody to wear nude, and the family colors was pink. So Bob gets there, and he has this young lady on his arm. So they all trying to sit there and figure out it's a mosquito. They all trying to sit here and figure out who this young lady is. They making speculations. Is that his girlfriend? Is that this? They come to find the fuck out, it's his daughter that Sheree never knew about. Now, she was saying that it didn't cross with none of their kids, but I don't know. It's given Bob has always been cheating on Sheree, and that's clear because he has a whole grown child that she don't know nothing about. So that's just real crazy to me. Alright, so bam, they get to that. Now Bob is, moving around the room. So Sheree gets introduced to the daughter. So I'm like, okay. Sheree gets introduced to the daughter, and Sheree's just like, so, like, when did y'all meet? Or, how long have you known this? And, all this other stuff that was going on. So I'm just like, okay. Cool. So they doing all of that. They having a talking. I could tell Sheree is perturbed, but she's really good at, like, hiding her feelings. So it's like, oh, well, she just talked about it. It's like, it's nice to meet you. She didn't make no big thing of it. It seemed like the kids, like Sheree's kids with Bob, they seemed like they already was familiar with her, like they had met her, which I think is even more strange that they didn't never mention that to the mom. Am I the only one? I think that's weird that her kids knew that he had this daughter and they ain't never seen that to their mom. I'm the only one that thinks that that's strange. Whatever. So Bob's making his way around. Now, Sanya don't really know him like that. She don't know too much about him or whatever. But, of course, she's also curious to try to know, like, what's going on. Like, the time, they trying to get the timeline right. But does the timeline really matter at this point? Y'all is divorced. All y'all kids is grown. What do you still have to be mad about, for real? Because you knew he was cheating on you back then. Does it really matter that he had a child on you? That's my take on it. I don't know. But when he got over there to Candy and them, he wasn't sitting there about to just bullshit. Candy asked him like 5 questions. It was called rapid fire. She asked him like 10 questions back to back, like, okay, so how long have you known you had the child? Well, how old is the child? And did Sheree ever need? Or why didn't you tell Sheree? And it was just like question after question after question. Bob was like, everything back then was on a need to know basis. Bob, I could tell he was a complete asshole back then, because he still won. And they kept making jokes like, we done had a baby reveal at the baby reveal. I'm sorry, y'all. That was funny as shit. I mean, all in all, I think it was a good episode. Clearly, Ralph and Drew are going down a wrong road, just like Portia and Candy was back in the day. So I just don't know. I don't see it for them, because you actually have to like somebody in order for a relationship to work. And I feel like Ralph doesn't even like Drew at all, even as a person. So yeah, I don't really see this working out. I don't see it working out. If they do work it out, I'm going to really truly believe that the whole divorce shit was for a storyline. That's what I'm going to believe. But I'll be honest, the way that Ralph acts, I don't know. Maybe they really should be getting a divorce. Drew seemed like she deserves better, but Drew also got shit with her too, because she don't even know how to tell the truth. That girl lies so much. You don't believe nothing that she say. You ever meet people like that? It's like they lie so much, you don't believe nothing that they say. You have to question everything that they say. Drew's definitely that type of person for me. All in all, I actually thought this was one of the better episodes. With Marlo's event, she gave out a few awards to the foster people. I told you Sanya was there, Courtney was there, Sheree came late. Who else showed up? Sheree, Marlo, so Sheree, Courtney, Sanya, and then Sheree, Courtney, and Sanya was the only ones that showed up. I don't think she invited any of the other ladies because they don't fuck with her and she don't fuck with them, and that's cool. So I liked what she's trying to do. Scott Lee did also show up to her event. I guess they trying to really make things work. Scott Lee is handsome. I'll give him that. He's definitely very handsome. I definitely don't think that Marlo is feeling him, because I don't feel like he makes enough money for her. But if they did stay together, they could be cute together. They both tall, good looking and everything like that. And to be honest, I'm not saying life is almost over, but Marlo, you is a little long in the tooth. You probably do need to, it's probably time to settle down at this point. Okay? It's definitely given. But all in all, I think it was a pretty good episode. They ended the episode with the picture. Sheree was just talking about how Bob, she was like, he's an asshole then. She was like, he's a piece of shit then, and he's still a piece of shit now. And she said, cheese. I was cracking up. I thought that was really funny because she's just so detached from it. And I can appreciate that because, yeah, Bob seemed like he was a piece of fucking work. And like she said, he still the fuck is, child, because he ain't have not a care in that motherfucking world showing up with this daughter that nobody knew about. You know, I think that was real weird to have it be at that setting where she just now meeting. It was a little messy in my opinion, but it is what it is. We already see what's going on with next week. Drew and Ralph is arguing about Courtney calling her a bitch. On Candy's Speak on it, she did hit on the fact that, you know, she didn't really like how Drew was like basically saying, oh, if it's not Lifetime, it can't be this. And it's like she had somebody named Jamie as her co-host. And I just feel like, damn, like Candy be giving y'all opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And all y'all do is try to spit on her. Y'all try to cross her. Y'all try to talk shit about her. Like, it just goes to show that saying of no good deed goes unpunished because it seemed like Candy just can't do nothing right for y'all hoes. Y'all is just never satisfied with what she's doing. So she not paying enough. Oh, it's B-rated. Oh, she using her house. Oh, so what? Plenty of people rent out houses when they're making movies. How is that any different? If you do have a nice house, a house nice enough to make a movie in, why not do it if you got the money? I don't know. I just feel like they always trying to talk shit about Candy, and I think that everybody, for the most part, besides the people she do fuck with, are envious of her and her successes, and that's why Candy keeping her foot on their neck. You continue to be successful. Don't worry about these dumb ass bitches because they is negative Nancy's and they petty Betty's, child. Fuck them. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Put something down in the comments. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, the share, notification bell. Do all of those things, please. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next joint. Thanks for listening.